Hi, it's Matt Getter with Sherlock Home Inspections. Phone number is 971-212-7481. Website address is yourinspectionneeds.com. Today's date is Saturday, March 16th, 2024. The address we're inspecting today is 4900 Northwest Shaniko Court, Portland, Oregon, 97229. We are about to perform a video inspection of the property's main sewer line through the roof plumbing vent. The equipment being used today is the Rigid Sea Snake. This is one of the best sewer cameras in the market today. Before we begin this video inspection, it's being noted that some age sewer pipes made of clay, concrete, cast iron, asbestos, and Orangeburg may be in good working order and may never have had a clogged or sewer backup before. However, due to real estate transactions, attorneys, and lawsuits, Sherlock Home Inspection must recommend the following to meet the current codes. All sewer pipes should be watertight, made of cast iron ABS 3034 or HDPE pipe with all appropriate fittings and couplers. All sewer pipes should be free from breaks, offsets, separations, tree roots, bellies, and party sewers. Sherlock Home Inspections recommends replacing any sewer pipe that does not meet these specifications. Here we go. And again, we are accessing the sewer pipe from the roof plumbing vent. And so here we go. So it is a 3-inch ABS plastic drain piping. We are running some water from the kitchen sink to ensure that our pipe is watertight and is going to remain watertight throughout this inspection. And we should see the kitchen sink water joining us momentarily. And there is our kitchen sink water. Looks like the direction of the sewer pipe does run straight ahead to the street in front of the house, which is Shaniko Court. Kind of no nonsense so far, just straight as an arrow. Here's kind of our first turn. It also looks like maybe we're going to go to cast iron piping there. So at 33 feet, this signifies a couple of things. This signifies transitioning pipe materials. We're going from ABS plastic into cast iron. Signifies transitioning pipe size. We're getting bigger. And then it is a nice smooth transition. Because of the cast iron piping through the front yard, it would be highly recommended to have a sewer scope performed I would say every 2 to 3 years, just keeping an eye on the old cast iron piping. And really, probably any old metal piping in the house should be considered like a deferred cost item. And I'll keep my fingers crossed it just keeps on going and going, but it is an older metal piping in the house. Or older metal piping still being used, I should say, in the sewer piping. We're going to start diving. This typically is in transition or in preparation for the sidewalk area. Here we are pulling out of that dive. And right at the sidewalk, there's a little bit of marginal pitch, a little bit of a belly as we transition into the concrete piping. So this signifies a few things here also. This signifies transitioning from cast iron into concrete, signifies transitioning pipe materials, cast iron into concrete, and pipe size. And then lastly, this is a branch off the city lateral piping. And even though we enter into city lateral piping here, technically all of this will be buyer-owner responsibility throughout the entire length, start to finish. And there's our lateral. We'll call it 66 and a half feet to the city lateral. So this would be the end officially of buyer-owner responsibility. I'm going to turn off all the water now. I'm going to drain everything out of the pipe and look at the pipe one more time in reverse. There was one area in question, and that's at the transition between the cast iron and the concrete pipe. There was just a few inches of standing water, really pretty minor, all things considered. But we're going to turn off all the water, drain everything out. We're going to evaluate the area. It's a drain pipe, so the hopes is you turn off the water and it just goes ahead and drains right on out of there. So we're going to run a test on that area, and then the recommendation is because of the cast iron pipe. Really kind of need to go into this knowing that this could be something that needs to be modernized at some point, and we'll keep our fingers crossed it just keeps on going and going. But this is, 45 plus year old cast iron piping through the front yard, and probably at some point, and it could be years, but probably at some point going to need modernizing. So we'd recommend having a sewer scope every 2 to 3 years, just keeping an eye on it. The pipe doesn't appear to be having any big problems at this point, but we're going to run a test on that one area in question, and then the recommendation will be monitoring, and then of course repair and or replace as needed. Okay, so we have drained the water out. We're gonna run a test on that one area. Curious to see, there's still some residual stuff making its way through, but curious to see how the area reacts with the water off. It does look like maybe some flushable wipes are being used, and I wouldn't recommend this in the sewer pipe, especially knowing that the older materials. I'm gonna go forward again. So this is the one area in question. So the camera head goes underwater for just a couple of inches, and then it clears up. And so overall, very, very minor, all things considered. So I think probably the recommendation is to monitor. We'd recommend having a sewer scope every 2 to 3 years, keeping an eye on it, and then repair and or replace as needed. Also, as a precaution, you could pass the video and the report on to your favorite drain repair specialist to see what he thinks about this. But all said and done, this is maybe 4 inches of standing water, and then it clears up pretty quickly. Doesn't really appear to be causing any issues, and it did improve as the water was turned off. And you can see through everything else, the water does drain out pretty clearly.